Hey fellow Pokemon collectors, enthusiasts, and SimplySepe family. We are doing a video today on my base set, or not base set, but first generation holographics that are graded by PSA. And they have varying grades, and I'm going to go through, I've broken down a few of them, and we are going to go through why they were broken down as such. But before we do, I did want to bring up that this Saturday we are still doing the Shadowless Charmander giveaway. So if you are interested in that and you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, and that puts you in the running to get this Shadowless Charmander. Essentially, I'm going to use a random name generator to grab one subscriber out of my list of subscribers to get this card. And I did want to thank everyone that is currently subscribed. We're almost at 25 subscribers in a short amount of time. And the appreciation and comments that I've been receiving, which I've tried to respond to each and every one of them, even though there's been a lot, has been fantastic. So I really do thank you guys for that. That's been great. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Okay, so first and foremost, these may not be the most valuable in my collection. However, they are some of the most iconic. This is the regular base set Venusaur, and I'm actually going to move these out of the way because I want to do these one by one. And it's a excellent to mint graded Venusaur. Not first edition, not shadowless, but one of the starters, so I think that's extremely cool to have, right? The next one is one of my favorites, is the base set Charizard. Very good to excellent grading, PSA, but I just love the original Charizard artwork, and outside of its value, I just think that it's one of the more iconic cards, and because it's one of the more iconic cards, Charizard in future sets has become some of the more valuable cards in those sets, even with the introduction of new Pokemon. And you could see that very heavily with the value of the Shining Charizard in the Hidden Fate sets that predated the Sword and Shield set. And so last but not least in that current collection is the Blastoise from original base set. And again, not first edition, not shadowless, but graded excellent to mint. And this completes my set of original base set final evolution starters. And that's why I grouped them as such. And I really, even though they weren't, I typically get my first editions graded, I went out of my way to get these graded just because I think they're fantastic and I love them so much. So and then although the Charizard is the piece de resistance, I always put them in this order because that's how they are in the Pokedex: Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise with their pre-evolutions in between. So let's move that out of the way. Okay, so next one we're going to do a following two set of groupings. The first one are ones that I have purchased offline and sent in to be graded, and then the following one will be the ones that I have purchased packs offline and pulled individually from packs. So let's go through the ones where I purchased the card by itself on eBay and tried to have it graded because I thought the condition was good. So first one will be Gengar from the Fossil Collection, first edition. It received a PSA 8. I thought it would be at least a 9, if not a 10, but you can see some minor imperfections, I think, on the holographic. There's some striations here. And I think that's probably why it ended up getting an 8. But I will be purchasing a PSA 10 Gengar at some point because it's one of my favorite cards out of the Fossil set. The next one that I purchased was a first edition Clefable, and this first edition Clefable ended up getting a non-mint grade. Give me 1 second, I'm actually just going to readjust. Okay, that's much better. I was standing up and my back was starting to hurt. So this was a Clefable first edition from Jungle Set, purchased online from eBay that essentially got a near mint grade. And I like to have, I wouldn't consider them, these are obviously not base set, but I like having Generation 1, and that's Pokemon 1 through 51 in the Pokedex, because that's when I originally started collecting, so I think it's very iconic to my childhood and nostalgic. So the next one, also from Jungle, is a Mr. Mime in excellent to mint condition, first edition, PSA graded 6. So I'm gonna speed up a little bit because I feel that the ones at the end of the video are more iconic and more of what people would like to see. So I did want to go through these because I did think it was important for the ones that I have purchased singular cards, just solely for the fact that I think it's important to note that no matter what the description is, either mint, non-mint, a singular picture, it's impossible to tell condition of a card, and these are perfect examples of that. So you can see a card on an eBay listing that looks like it has no imperfections, but obviously with some stringent professional grading, it will not come back gem mint. I thought, if anything, I thought my Gengar would come back as a PSA 10, but it had not. So just word to the wise. Okay, the next one is a Victory Bell from Jungle Set as well. It got an excellent grading at a PSA 5. First edition stamp. What a nice card. Put this here. And the last one, which was purchased because I had lost mine from when I was a child, going to see the Pokemon 2000 movie. They gave away this promo Ancient Mew card. And this received an excellent to mint grade. And this one, it's kind of hard because of the artwork and the graphic style to see why it would receive such a low grade. But I still think it's a beautiful card, and that's why I had that submitted. So those are the 5 cards that I purchased off of eBay and essentially sent in to get graded. The last card that also falls into this category, and I have it actually sheathed differently, is one of my favorite cards due to the artwork and the beauty of it, and it's Articuno from Fossil Set. So it received a mint 9 first edition stamp, and I just think it's a gorgeous card. The hologram, the artwork, it's just, I thought this would receive a 10. I was very convinced about it. Yeah, and to go back to my original statement, even in the person's that I purchased it from, even in their description, said guaranteed gem mint 10. So I know that you can't really go by the description for that, and I was very aware of that when I purchased it, but it just looked like it was such a very good card, and that's why I went out of my way to get it. It didn't cost that much. I definitely, with it being a mint 9, I'll put the values up on the screen of what these would cost, at least for the ones where it makes sense, or at least what their value is. So that way, when I edit the video, you have somewhat of an idea of what each of their values are for the original base set for the first edition Jungle and for the first edition Fossil. So let me move these out of the way for now. Okay. These next two were purchased already graded. So the first one is a PSA 10 Haunter, first edition from the Fossil set. I think it's a nice card. The predecessor to the Gengar, they decided to also make this holographic, so I think that is pretty cool. Put that there. And then the next one, also from Fossil, is PSA 10 Hitmonlee. And I really love Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan as a card. If you remember from Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue, you only got to choose one or the other. They weren't catchable Pokemon. So you either had to go through multiple... You either have to have both Pokemon Red and Blue or have someone trade with you to be able to get both to complete your Pokedex. So those two are the ones I purchased already graded at PSA 10. And here's where, in my opinion, it starts to get very interesting. Here's the ones that I have pulled individually from packs. The first one being the Jolteon. Let me move this to the side. Gorgeous. I pulled this last year via a jungle pack, and it got a mint 9. When I'm done going through all the ones that I had pulled last year from packs, I'll go through a little anecdote of why grading can be so, not difficult, but can get frustrating at times. So first edition stamp, jungle, mint Jolteon. The next one is a Nidoqueen, also from Jungle Pack, first edition, again, mint 9. Scyther from Jungle Pack, mint 9, first edition. You'll kind of see a pattern here with each of the cards that I pulled directly from the pack. Pinsir, non-error, first edition, mint 9. You'll see that I had get incoming bad joke. So you'll see that I had basically a German grader with all the 9s that I received, and it's been painful for me. So here's the next one, Electrode, from not base set, but from Jungle, first edition, holographic mint 9. And here is the Magneton from Fossil, mint 9, first edition. And lastly, here is a Muck, non-mint, not near mint to mint 8, from Fossil, first edition. So let me actually going to stack these up, because the next ones are the ones that, in my opinion, are the most sought after cards, with the finale being my favorite card that I own in the Pokemon series. So let me get these out of the way. I'm always very cautious when I stack these back up. The slabs of PSA, they all fit together, which is nice. So it's nice to kind of keep them stored in a certain manner. Okay, so the last ones. As I said earlier, Hitmonchan. So Hitmonchan is from base set. Unfortunately, the grade is excellent to mint. I had it sent in at some point last year, and I was hoping it'd grade a little bit higher, but still having anything from base set is quite valuable. First edition Shadowless. And I'll take a little bit of time with these cards because they are the most sought after. Okay. Next one is first edition Zapdos base set shadowless at an excellent grade of 5. And I've always had an affinity for the legendary birds. So it's just a nice card. Okay. And the last one, which is my all-time favorite, is of course, and you've seen it if you've seen my other Pokemon videos, specifically the Pokemon video on the Pokemon retrospective, is my first edition PSA 10 Alakazam. And it's just a gorgeous card. First edition stamp, shadowless edging, and the hologram. I even love the aura around the Pokemon himself. Gorgeous. Okay, so that was my last card. These are all the holographics I have from the original Generation 1, and I wanted to kind of go through those and show you my collection, and also discuss that I was having a giveaway. So if you haven't already, it would be much appreciated if you subscribe, hit that like button, and if you leave a comment. I've been responding to as many comments as I can, but I will try to get back to your comments as soon as I can, and they've been much appreciated. So again, in this video, this is SimplySepe signing off, and I hope you enjoyed the video.